Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and later wished you could take it back? Maybe you shouted at someone you care about, slammed a door you shouldn't have, or made a decision you regretted the minute you acted on it. In that one small moment, your emotions took the wheel and drove you straight into chaos. And as the dust settled, all you could do was stare at the mess and whisper to yourself, "Why did I lose control?" This is not just your story. It's the story of nearly every human being who has walked the earth. The truth is, emotions are powerful. They can build or destroy, heal or wound, make peace or start war. But what if you could master them? What if, instead of being ruled by your emotions, you could rule over them? What if there was a way to remain calm in the middle of a storm, composed while others crumble, steady when life shakes you? There is, and it begins with one timeless truth. You are not your emotions. You are the one observing them. Imagine this. Your life is like a giant theater. Every day, dozens of emotions come onto the stage. Joy, sadness, fear, anger, anxiety. They perform, they cry, they scream, they dance. But you are not the actors. You are the audience. You are the one sitting back, watching. And the moment you forget that, the moment you step onto the stage and start reacting blindly, that's when chaos begins. That's when the drama takes over. But when you stay seated, when you watch with awareness, something changes. You gain power, not power over others, but power over yourself. And that's the kind of power the Stoics mastered. The kind of power that gave them unshakable calm, even as the world around them burned. Let's travel back in time for a moment. Imagine you're standing beside Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, in the middle of a battlefield. He's surrounded by betrayal, threats, and loss. Yet in the middle of all this noise, he writes quietly in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He didn't say, "Hope the world changes." He didn't say, "Wait for people to treat you better." He said, "Change your response. Take charge of your inner world." That's the foundation of Stoic wisdom. Emotions are not enemies. They're signals, like red lights on your car dashboard. They're just pointing to something deeper. But most people never pause long enough to see what's beneath the surface. They just react, explode, shut down, and call it normal. But deep down, they feel powerless. And you don't have to live like that. You were made for more. You were made for clarity, for calm, for control. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed. Maybe someone said something that pierced you like a knife. Maybe your plans fell apart. Maybe you just woke up feeling off and carried that weight all day. And in those moments, it feels like you're drowning in something invisible. You want to scream, run, hide, or lash out. But what if, in that moment, you could step outside yourself? What if you could say, "Wait, this is not who I am. This is just an emotion passing through me, like a wave, like a cloud." That is the Stoic mindset. That is the beginning of control. Here's the secret. Controlling your emotions is not about killing them. It's about seeing them clearly. When anger rises, don't shove it down. Look at it, name it, say, "I feel anger." The moment you name it, you separate yourself from it. You create space between you and the emotion, and in that space you can choose. You can choose to pause, to breathe, to respond with wisdom, not impulse. That space is your power, and the more you practice, the bigger that space becomes. Now picture this. You're in a tough conversation. Someone just accused you unfairly. Your body tenses, your heart pounds. Your first instinct is to defend, attack, maybe even yell. But instead, you pause. You take a breath. You remind yourself, "I am not this emotion. I am the one observing it." And then you speak, not with rage, but with calm. And just like that, the conversation shifts. the energy changes. You didn't lose yourself. You kept your center. That is real strength. That is emotional control. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." So many times, our emotional pain doesn't come from what actually happened. It comes from what we told ourselves about it. Someone didn't reply to your message, you think they hate you. Someone disagreed with you, you think you're not respected. But none of that is fact. It's just a story you made up. And stories can be rewritten. The Stoics taught us to question those stories, to ask, is this thought true? Is it useful? Is it making me better or bitter? And if the answer is no, let it go. Because not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Your emotions are like wild horses. If you let them run free, they'll take you over cliffs. But if you learn to ride them, guide them, direct them, they'll take you to places of great power. But you must be the rider, not the horse. And that takes practice. Daily practice, morning reflection, evening journaling, breath control, mindful pauses. These are not tricks, they are tools. Tools that build discipline, awareness, and strength. Each morning, take 1 minute to prepare for the day. Ask yourself, what could go wrong today? Not to be negative, but to be ready. Someone might insult you, a plan might fail, traffic might delay you. Expect it, prepare for it. So when it happens, you're not surprised, you're not shaken, you're steady. That's called meditatio malorum. Preparing for misfortune. It turns chaos into calm before it even arrived. Then at night, look back. Ask yourself, where did I react instead of respond? Where did I stay calm? What can I do better tomorrow? That reflection builds self-awareness, and self-awareness builds control. It's not about judging yourself, it's about knowing yourself, and that's where power lives. Now let's talk about breath. When emotions surge, the breath shortens. You tighten up. That's the body's fight or flight kicking in. But you can hijack that system. Slow your breath and your body calms down. Try this. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 8. Do it 3 times. Feel the shift. The Stoics didn't have science, but they knew the power of breath. It's the bridge between your body and mind. Use it. When you feel triggered, pause. Use that feeling as a bell, not a bomb. Let it remind you to check in, to ask, what am I feeling? What thought is driving this? Is this thought true or just fear in disguise? Questions like that pull you out of emotion and into clarity. And sometimes, the best way to build control is to choose discomfort on purpose. Skip a meal, take a cold shower, sleep without a pillow, walk in silence, not to punish yourself, but to train your mind. When you choose small discomforts, you prepare for big ones. When real pain comes, you're not broken by it. You're ready. You've faced yourself already. That's strength. Controlling emotions doesn't mean becoming a robot. It means becoming deeply human, fully alive, aware, conscious. It means choosing your response instead of being dragged by reaction. It means walking through fire with a still heart. And you can learn this. You can master this. You already have the tools. You just have to start using them. Start small. Pick one emotion you often struggle with: anger, jealousy, anxiety. Watch for it today. When it rises, don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask what it's trying to say. Don't fight it. Don't feed it. Just observe. You'll be amazed how fast it fades when it's no longer the star of the show. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. The same things that used to break you won't even touch you. The words that once stung, they slide off. The situations that made you spiral, you handle them with grace. You've built a fortress inside you, a calm center no storm can shake. That is the Stoic mindset. That is emotional control. And when you reach that place, something even greater happens. You don't just control your own emotions, you help others control theirs. Your calm becomes contagious. Your presence brings peace. Your life becomes a message, a living reminder that chaos is not a master, it's a choice, and peace is possible. So the next time you feel that wave rising, remember this: you are not the wave. You are the ocean beneath it, deep, still, unshakable. Let others shout, let storms rage, you remain grounded, clear, calm. This is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a new way of living, a way built not on impulse, but on intention, not on reaction, but reflection, not on fear, but on wisdom. The kind of wisdom that comes from those who faced themselves in silence, who stared down their demons and chose discipline, who traded comfort for character. That can be you if you're willing to choose it. So choose it now, not tomorrow, not someday. Right now, choose to watch your emotions instead of obeying them. Choose to breathe before you speak, to pause before you react, to reflect before you judge. That is how you grow. That is how you lead. That is how you live. You don't need perfect control. You just need awareness. You just need practice. And you just need the will to keep coming back every time you fall. That's where greatness is born, in the quiet, steady return, in the daily choice to rise above what tries to pull you down. And if this message stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Re-watch it, share it, practice it, let it become a part of you, and then pass it on. Because the world needs more people who are not ruled by emotion, who bring peace into rooms full of tension, who choose stillness in the storm. Be that person. And one day, when someone asks you, how do you stay so calm? You'll smile and say, I trained for this. I chose this. I became this. And you'll know deep inside, it was worth every moment, every breath, every pause, every choice. You didn't just learn to control your emotions. You became a master of your mind, and that is where your real power begins. You'll start to see the world differently. You'll notice how often people let their emotions control their words, their choices, their relationships, their futures. You'll notice how many battles are fought not because they were necessary, but because someone couldn't pause. Someone couldn't breathe. Someone didn't know how to step back and watch instead of jumping in. And while others panic, you will remain still. While others rage, you will think clearly. While others crumble, you will stand. That's not weakness, that's power, the rare kind. The kind that Stoics carried through fire, war, betrayal, loss, and even death. Because the truth is, life won't always go your way. People will disappoint you, plans will fall apart, days will hurt. But none of that can control you unless you hand over the keys, and you don't have to. Every moment offers a choice. Will you react, or will you respond? Will you explode, or will you examine? Will you let the fire burn you, or will you walk through it with calm? You've come this far. You've listened, reflected, imagined, and maybe even remembered moments you're not proud of, moments when you lost control. But this is not about guilt. This is about growth. This is your turning point. You've already taken the first step by becoming aware. The next step? Practice. Put these truths into motion. Start small. One deep breath before a tough conversation. One pause before replying to a rude comment. One moment of silence before making a big decision. These small moments become habits. Habits become your nature, and your nature becomes your destiny. You don't need years of training. You need intention. You need reminders. And you need courage. The courage to slow down in a fast world, to listen in a loud world, to pause in an impulsive world. That courage is rare. That courage is yours. You're not here by accident. Something inside you brought you to this message. A part of you that wants more than emotional chaos. A part of you that longs for stability, for peace, for purpose. Feed that part. Listen to that voice. It knows the way. And if you feel like the world is too loud, too angry, too reactive, be the opposite. Be the quiet in the noise. Be the calm in the storm. Be the one who doesn't need to shout to be strong. The Stoics believed that the greatest leaders were the ones who ruled themselves first. They believed that to master the world, you must first master your mind. And that's what you're doing right now. Word by word, breath by breath, you'll begin to recognize the difference between emotion and truth. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean there's danger. Just because you feel anger doesn't mean someone's your enemy. Emotions lie, but your awareness never does. Keep watching, keep noticing, and you'll start to see through the fog. Your relationships will change too. You'll stop needing others to validate you, to agree with you, to make you feel okay. You'll find that your peace isn't dependent on how someone talks to you or whether they treat you fairly. You'll stop carrying the weight of other people's moods. You'll become a pillar, a person of grounded presence, and people will notice. They'll ask how you stay so composed, how you stay so steady. And you'll know it's because you stopped being a slave to your emotions. You stopped chasing highs and avoiding lows. You started showing up, calm, clear, conscious. And the best part, you'll begin to forgive yourself for the times you fell short, for the mistakes you made in moments of weakness, for the people you hurt when you were hurting. You'll see it all clearly now, not to condemn yourself, but to grow. You'll understand that every time you lost control, it was a lesson in disguise. And you're here now, stronger, wiser, and more awake. That's the gift of this path. It doesn't promise ease, it promises clarity. It promises freedom, not from emotions, but from being ruled by them. And that kind of freedom, it's worth everything. So take a deep breath now. Feel the air fill your lungs. Hold it. Let it go. That's all it takes. That one breath is your anchor, your compass, your reset button. Use it as often as you need. In meetings, in arguments, in confusion, in sorrow, in stress. That breath is where the change begins. And as you go through life, keep remembering this. Every moment is an opportunity to choose your response. Not because the world is easy, but because you are strong. Strong enough to feel deeply, but act wisely. Strong enough to care without collapsing. Strong enough to face pressure without crumbling. That's emotional strength. That's the Stoic mindset. It's not about always being calm. It's about returning to calm. It's not about never getting angry. It's about not letting anger speak for you. It's not about denying emotion. It's about mastering your response. And every time you do that, even once, you're changing your future. So the next time you feel that wave rise up, remember this moment. Remember this message. Remember the power you hold. The power to pause. The power to breathe. The power to reflect. And most of all, the power to choose. Because that's what real control looks like. Not rigid, not robotic, but aware, graceful, free. And if you forget, come back. Watch this again. Let it wash over you. Let it remind you of who you are and what you're becoming. You're not here to react. You're here to lead, to grow, to rise. And if this message moved you, share it. Someone else needs to hear it too. Someone out there is drowning in emotion, not knowing how to get out. Be their light, be their example, be the calm they haven't found yet. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep trying. Every time you fall, stand back up. Every time you forget, remember again. Every time you get pulled into the storm, return to your breath. Over time, the emotional storms won't pull you in. They'll pass by, and you'll remain still, grounded, strong. Because that's who you are now. Someone who knows how to stay rooted while the winds howl. Someone who chooses understanding over reaction. Someone who can be trusted to lead, to love, to live with purpose. You've just unlocked one of the most powerful tools in life, the ability to control your emotions through awareness, wisdom, and intention. This is your superpower. And now that you have it, use it. Let it shape every word, every choice, every connection. Let it speak for you when others lose their voice. Let it guide you when the path ahead looks dark. Let it hold you steady when the world starts to spin. And always remember, emotions are waves, but you are the ocean. You are vast, you are deep, and you are in control. Welcome to your new life, calmer, stronger, wiser. One breath at a time, one choice at a time. You've begun something powerful, and this is only the beginning. Keep going. Your best self is waiting.